Will Howard has been named the starting quarterback for Ohio State this year. And the huge criticism of Will Howard has been that he's good, but he isn't good enough to lead you to a national championship. You know, it's funny because I heard that about a quarterback a few years ago that took a team to back-to-back national championships. Some of y'all may remember who this dude was, but in case you don't, he was Stetson Bennett, aka the mailman. And when Stetson Bennett first was the starting quarterback for Georgia, nobody really thought that Georgia was going to go far with this dude, because with the evolution of Clemson bringing in Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence, everybody was under the assumption to be a national championship team, you got to have elite quarterback play. But when Georgia had Stetson Bennett at the helm and they were still winning back-to-back national championships with him, what that showed is that you don't need to have this game-changing or generational quarterback as long as you have a generational team around them, which is what Ohio State has. This season, this is without a doubt the best team that Ryan Day has had since he first arrived in Columbus. And you don't need to ask Will Howard to win games for you the way that you were asking Kyle McCord and CJ Stroud to over the last couple of years, because you shouldn't be running a quarterback-centric offense. So you see, Ohio State's success these last couple of years has solely been based off who they've had at quarterback. Justin Fields, CJ Stroud, Kyle McCord. With the team they have this year, you don't need Will Howard to be an elite quarterback to win it all because of what you have around him. You have one of the best receiving corps in the nation. You got Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson at running back. If anything, you should just be handing those guys the ball 30, 40 times a game combined and only ask Will Howard to have to throw the football 15, 20 times. You have the kind of team to play the style of football that Michigan did last year, which is bully ball. We're just going to run the football down your throat until you show us that you can stop it. You got a top 5 defense going into this year. Some people may argue and say that it's the best defense in college football going into this year. And you got the best coaching staff in college football with Chip Kelly calling plays and Jim Knowles calling plays on defense. So with everything that is around Will Howard, he doesn't need to carry Ohio State. Ohio State can carry him. And it's hard to be terrible when you have this kind of talent at your disposal to throw the football to. And I never thought that Will Howard was a bad quarterback at Kansas State. Too much gets made about him having to split reps between Avery Johnson. But if you actually watched Kansas State play last year, they weren't really splitting reps. It wasn't 50-50. If anything, it was like 90-10 or 85-15 because Avery Johnson would come in on obvious running plays when they wanted to do some design quarterback runs, but he didn't really throw the football that much. And he only came in ever so often just to throw off the defense. But for the most part, Will Howard was the starter for the majority of games that Kansas State played, and he was pretty decent. He wasn't great, but he was good enough that they won the Big 12 championship with them in, 2022, I believe it was, when they upset TCU in the Big 12 title game. You have the best running back room in all of college football. You don't need Will Howard to throw the ball 30, 40 times like you were asking CJ Stroud to do. All you need Will Howard to do is to make sure that he can take care of the football, not turn it over, get the snap from underneath center, and hand it off to Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson, because there is no team in college football that I can see stopping this rushing attack that the Buckeyes are going to have this year. Some of y'all think that I'm glazing Ohio State too much, but I'm not. This is a team that has paid $20 million total in NIL to have the team that they have going into this year. Stetson Bennett showed us that you don't need to beat Trevor Lawrence to win a national title. All you need to do is do what's asked of you by executing the plays, taking care of the football, and just letting all the other great stars around you do the work. So I believe Will Howard is more than capable of being able to lead Ohio State to a national championship, with the fact that you don't need him to play at an insanely high level to win, with how great the talent is around them, with Quinshon Judkins, Travion Henderson, the elite defense, a great coaching staff calling plays for him. Will Howard is good enough to get it done.